Robots Radio presents
Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast.
I'm not usually a hat fan, but wow.
Jeg vil ikke være en dagger.
I'm really sipping on that dumb bitch juice today, and
Yeah, I am. But you know what? Someday I just might grow out of that. But you will never stop being a jerk.
All chocolate cakes are good. You're a fascist.
it's hideous.
It's horrible.
It's home. Angry white boy, let's go!
Hello, and welcome to Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast, the podcast that teaches you that no matter how much you lie, you will always get away with it. That's Simone LaRue.
And that's Chad Ekowitz. Chad, what a beautiful way for us to end out the new year with lies.
That's what everyone does at this time of year, Simone. We make our New Year's resolutions, and how many do we achieve, and how many do we stick to? Let's be honest.
True. That is
the
true.
world is terrible.
You know, this time last year, I actually should have gone back and listened. But this time last year, Chad, we talked about where we want to be in a year.
Oh my God. Yes, we did. To be honest with you, I don't remember that conversation at all because both of us were very, very drunk this time.
And so sad.
And so sad. It had been a year, hadn't it? And I mean, like, this year is a bit better, I would say. What would you say?
Miles better. Listen, I think if I remember correctly, I said that in a year minimum, I wanted to be employed and out of debt. And I am employed.
There you go. 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
And working my way out.
Exactly. I think that's the thing with debt recovery. You got to inch it. It's not a one-stroke wonder. You've just got to inch by inch.
Exactly. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, the moment I get a salary, I'll be able to pay everything back. Like I don't eat food.
Yeah, or pay rent, or want to do fun things.
Exactly. Like if I didn't want to enjoy my life, I would be debt free. But here I am.
Yeah, I mean, if you just stopped
happier.
eating avocado toast, Simone, you would have been debt free. You guys would have probably had a house by now.
I'd have a house by now. You're absolutely right.
That actually reminds me of one of the things that I said last year, which was I wanted to move out of my parents' place.
Yes.
So
and
there we go. And
look
here
at
we
him.
are. I'm in my own place, suffering in freezing
us.
cold conditions. But you know what? It's my place. I get to do what I want. I can do whatever I want when I want. You know?
I love this for you.
It's great.
Love it.
Last night, I turned the couch into the sleeper and I slept in the lounge while watching crap. Like, it was brilliant. Could I do that at my parents' house? No, they don't have a sleeper couch. Doesn't work.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, that's the only reason. So it's absolutely, so that's tick for both of us.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Nice.
Yeah, look at us. We're making our goals. So then you got to ask the question, what do you want for 2022?
Oh God, I fear hoping for more, you know?
I get you. Be cautiously optimistic. What's like a minor thing that you would like to happen in the next year?
I would like to have a couple more of my short stories published.
Beautiful. Nice.
I think that's reasonable.
And
I would like to have at least written maybe the first draft of a novel. I know I said that last year, but this year for sure.
In a year? You're a mad woman. That's
a novella, maybe.
Okay, like 100-page story. Yeah,
fair, and I'll flesh it out. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It builds. I think. So, I mean, it all sort of signs point to January of 2022 being a lockdown for us in the UK. You know, finally, our Prime Minister is doing one thing right. He realizes, washing hands is not the way to beat a pandemic. So potentially,
interesting.
Very interesting. So hopefully that will mean that I will go and live with Georgette for the sort of the whole of the lockdown. So I think
nice.
Yeah, I think my one wish for 2022 is that we survive that.
Yeah, that is a test.
Yeah, so that would be my attainable goal for 2022.
My only advice as someone whose relationship survived several lockdowns is like have your own spaces to retreat to. Just like you can't be in each other's space all the time. You can't do it.
Right. Okay. That's good to know. She lives in a studio apartment, so that might be a bit more difficult, but we're gonna try. Does
she not want to try staying in your place?
No, because she has to go to work. She's an essential worker, so she has to go into the office. That's the problem. Otherwise, like we would have definitely come here because I've got the bigger apartment. But
Wow. Praying for you guys.
I'll buy some masking tape and I'll just put it down the middle of the apartment. And just
healthy.
No, we'll be.
Or you just
fine.
Occasionally scream, "Don't look at me!" and then you get some private time.
I mean, both of us do that anyway when either of us go to the toilet. We're still in that really adorable phase where it's sort of just like. I'm still
like that's my private space, but again, I don't live in a studio, so.
That's true. That is true. But yeah, it's headphones in, listen to other things while I'm in the toilet. That's the rule.
That's polite, I think.
Yeah,
that's very English.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, I think we'll be fine. We'll get through this. We're a good couple. We're gonna have a fighting chance.
Yeah. I believe in you two, crazy kids.
Thank you very much. And talking of crazy kids, excellent segue. Couldn't thank you enough. What movies are we doing this week for the last week of the year?
Nice. Well, the first one is a bit of a treat to ourselves. We are doing After We Fell. We continue to follow this saga, this romantic epic, wherever it takes us.
Oh, and it is taking us so many places, Simone. I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't be happier with the places it is taking us. And the second movie that we are not so excited for?
We're doing Dear Evan Hansen, a movie that is over 2 hours long.
2 hours and 17 whole minutes.
And it does not need to be.
No, it does not. My synopsis for this one is very short because nothing really happens in the middle. So yikes. Yeah. So let's see who goes first. What are you drinking?
I am having a screwdriver.
Ooh, I don't actually know what's in a screwdriver.
So it's vodka and orange juice.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Very, very simple, very easy.
Yeah, very summary. We had a braai yesterday and I bought like all the ingredients for screwdrivers and then just ended up drinking wine. Fair. So now I've got a bunch of fresh orange juice that I need to finish.
Nice. Not a bad thing. It's one of your 5 a day.
Yeah, exactly. I think so. So that's what I'm doing. I also learned a valuable lesson yesterday because I bought this juice that I really like that is delicious. It's a beetroot pomegranate blendy thing.
Sounds interesting.
I like it because it's not too sweet. Very nice with vodka, not good with gin.
Really?
It's just bitter on weird.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. All right. Look, life is a kaleidoscope of trials and challenges, and you're learning moment by moment. That's very amazing. I'm so happy for you. Honestly, when you held up your drink, your screwdriver to the camera, I thought you were just drinking a fuck off big thing of limoncello, and I was like, who hurt you? Who hurt you? And when did you become a serial killer? Just a pint glass.
No, I love limoncello, but not that much.
No.
This is actually, I'm very much enjoying this summer, so we're not at last year's levels of depression drinking.
Just a big old pint glass of whiskey. Yeah.
Yeah, if I could.
Oh, Simone.
No. Last year, I mean, I'm fine now. I'm really,
yes.
I'm in a very good place.
Much better place. Yeah.
These are happy drinks.
Yes, exactly.
What are you drinking?
So I'm a bit of a fancy boy today. So I don't know if you know this, but I invested in Brewdog last year. I bought some shares in Brewdog because they were doing sort of a public offering. And one of their perks, if you bought a set amount of shares, was to give you a gift. And one of the gifts was an exclusive 24-pack of a beer that wasn't going to be out on the shelves. So it was exclusive to sort of us investors. So today I am drinking a Hello, my name is Gail Brewdog exclusive beer, which is a wind-powered IPA.
How is it wind-powered?
Well, I think they mean because they're really big on sort of being carbon negative and stuff. So it was made without any electricity, I assume. It was made with wind power
just with like
generators.
Wind.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, it's very tasty. Honestly, it's delicious. I'm very happy with it, and I got 24 of them. Very happy with that.
Nice.
That will
love
last
that
me
for you.
a while. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So very nice. I feel like a very fancy boy, and
you look like a very fancy boy.
I am the fanciest boy. I got a little badge as well that said that I'm an equity punk. That was fun.
Ooh.
So, yeah, very, very fun. So I guess you do go first because vodka is always going to be stronger than beer, even though this is 6%, which is a decent.
Oh, that is pretty strong for a beer.
But I want to ask you, okay, I know you're supposed to go first, but do we just want to get Evan Hansen out of the way?
No, let's just start with after we fell, because I feel like we have a lot of feelings about Evan Hansen that we just have to,
just go through,
get through.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. So the important thing here to note, everybody, is that a lot of actors have swapped out roles. We still have Josephine Langford playing Tessa. We still have Hero Fiennes Tiffin playing Hardin. But the swaps that we have are Stephen Moyer replaces Charlie Weber as Christian Vance. Mira Sorvino replaces Selma Blair as Carol Young. And Chance Perdono, who many of you will recognize from The Chilling Tales of Sabrina, replaces Shane Paul McGee as Landon. Oh, and Ariel Cabell replaces Candace King as Kimberly. So that's a good chunk of the cast. Louise Lombard still plays Trish, who is Hardin's mom. That's more or less. It's a very small cast movie.
Those are the key players, really.
Okay, so we pick right up where we left off. Tessa has been offered this job in Seattle, and Hardin is like, no, but I thought we would move to London after graduation. And considering they're both still in first year canonically, I don't really see how any of this works, but cool. But Tessa, it seems like she's going to transfer to a school in Seattle so that she can also take this job, which is her dream job. So they're fighting about that. And then also, Tessa's dad has come back into the picture. He's like homeless and an alcoholic. It's very sad. So naturally, Hardin goes out drinking with him the first time he's mad at Tessa.
Yep.
It's great. She gets to pick them both up from a bar. Luckily, Hardin just sexes his way back into her heart.
Unbelievable.
The two of them continue fighting back and forth about whether she should move, why doesn't Hardin want to come with her. It basically kind of settles on like, no, Hardin got her this job because he loves her so much, even though he can't go with her, but he can.
He very much
he just doesn't really want to move to Seattle, which I guess is fair. But then don't act like it's a huge sacrifice on your part.
Exactly.
Baby.
Look, we'll get into it.
At least after they've been like having all these like super toxic fights, they managed to spend some time apart as Tessa moves to Seattle, and she stays with her boss and her boss's girlfriend, who's now pregnant, or wife. I
think wife. I'd say wife.
Who's now pregnant. Yay!
Woo!
And with some distance, Hardin also reads Tessa's diary that he finds randomly and is like, oh wow, I have been really shitty. Luckily, Tessa doesn't have to self-reflect at all. And he takes out boxing instead of drinking. I guess that's the thing.
It's healthy.
But anyway, the next time they get in touch, actually, they're doing really well. They're both trying their best to communicate more. And Hardin's like, oh, my mom's getting married in England, and Tessa's like, well, I'd love to come, and he's like, fine, I guess we'll go, because he apparently wasn't planning to go to his own mother's wedding.
Nice guy.
So they go to London, and still those two are doing solid until Hardin walks in on his mom having sex with Hardin's father figure / Tessa's boss / the mom's old friend. And he's like, what? But you're getting married tomorrow. And she's like, no, you don't understand. Anyway, they have a big fight. She gets married anyway. But then afterwards, Hardin goes to talk to his mom, and she's like, oh no, Hardin goes to talk to the dude.
To Vance,
and this is where the movie ends, guys. It turns out that guy is Hardin's dad, not the other. Remember the dean in the first movie that we've entirely forgotten about? That's not Hardin's dad.
No, big shock and super emotional for all of us, really, while a Frey song plays in the background.
The end.
Good on you. What is your cliffhanger, please?
Oh, it's obviously got to be this fucking terrible scene, which is, it's this one. So to set the scene, they've just had sex in a jacuzzi, a thing that
oh my god, gross,
people don't do.
So grim. We'll go through the sex scenes because Jesus Christ, like I have feelings and thoughts.
Regardless, they've just had sex in a jacuzzi, supposedly, and now they're chilling, and it seems like they're really both opening up, and Hardin's like, are you moving to Seattle because you have feelings for Trevor, who has not been in the movie?
No,
they could not get Dylan Sprouse in for this.
Wasn't having it. Wasn't gonna come back.
And she was like, no, like definitely not, like it's my dream job, like I keep telling you. And he's like, oh, I mean, did you ever have feelings for him? Like, you can tell me. And then she does tell him. And then he just walks the fuck out.
Like, completely freaks the fuck out. I love it. It's so good.
He's such an asshole.
Oh my God. Like, from the very first moment in this movie, like, literally 5 minutes in, he is picking fights with her. And, like, it's just... what we love, I think what we do love about these movies is the same reason why people watch NASCAR. It's the fact that you don't come for the races, you come for the car crashes. And this is what their relationship is. Just one
non-stop
massive car crash.
Yeah, no, I said sort of even in this movie, you can tell like Tessa's kind of over it. Like, Hardin keeps trying to pick fights with her. And she's like, bro, I'm tired. Like, go to class, can we like wrap up this drama later? Every time he like runs off and has a tantrum, she's like, cool, I guess I'm just gonna go out by myself. Love this for her.
It's really great. Like, I would love to actually, I think because there is a fourth one, I definitely think that you and I need to start reading the books so that we can really, really get into it, because I would love to see the difference in the book to the movie for this one, because I do love this journey for Tessa.
I can't read fan fiction writing like this. I can't do it. Even the movies, you can tell it's fan fiction because all the drama is so episodic, right? Like they have this fight and they have sex and then they make up and then they have this fight and then they do this and then they make up and then like it's so episodic. I don't know. Yeah, like it's I really pity the screenwriter who had to adapt it into like a movie.
Yeah, this is one of those tasks that I think you just phone in and you just literally copy it word from word. Like this is not your writing debut break kind of thing. No. This is just a task in exercising your fingers, really. But yeah, like, oh my God, the sex scenes in this were just so ridiculous. Though that being said, did love the fact that they used a condom. Did love the fact that they were talking about safe sex. Safe. Very, very cool.
I appreciated that too. I was like, okay, we're doing a quick pause. Still sexy.
Yeah, it's great. Guys, there's nothing sexier than being safe.
There's nothing sexier than no pregnancy scares.
Yeah, which, I mean, talking about that at the end, I mean, that's going to be a real major player, I think, in number 4. I think that was a very good sleeping gun.
Yeah, I forgot to add there because it was just so quick that Tessa found out that she might be infertile.
I love the doctor being as vague as possible. He was just like, your cervix seems to be wrong. It was great. It was the best doctor line in the world.
I mean, I don't even want kids and I'd want to know a little bit more than that.
Exactly. You want to know sort of like, he just like always said, it's like, your cervix is all kinds of fucked up. And that's how he leaves it. And he just like walks out the room.
Did I tell you, I once had a pap smear with this nurse who was horrible. This is it. It's fine. Let's normalize it. I had a pap smear with a nurse who was horrible. So I was already very uncomfortable. Of course. And then she like does the smear and she's like, yeah, I noticed something a little weird with your cervix, but get dressed and then I'll tell you about it. And I was like, oh my God. It's cancer. She's detected cervical cancer. Like, so I get dressed and everything. And then I go like, and I sit down and like, what is it? Like, what is it? And she's like, no, like it was just a very bright pink red color, but often that's normal with people who have high estrogen levels. And I was like,
sweet Jesus, fucking hell.
Yes, I'm very fertile. I don't know what to tell you.
What the fuck? I cannot believe that. That is outrageous.
Yeah, I don't think I even ended up going back for the results. I just went somewhere else and got a different pap smear because I was like, if I have cervical cancer, I do not want to hear it from this woman.
No, that's terrible. Do you think doctors do this like for funsies? Do you think they just like doctors and nurses just do that and it's like there's
Not
something a
good
little
ones.
bit curious? Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Yeah, no, that's horrific.
But that's what this doctor did too. He's like, your cervix, I don't know. Shrug.
I don't know. It's very
Walks
weird.
off.
Yeah, very weird situation. So I think that's going to come back in number 4. But that just means like, Harden is probably going to say something incredibly insensitive and just be like, at least we don't have to wear condoms anymore. Because he kind of like hinted at that. Like, I know he was joking and everything, but I think it is also very, very insensitive and quite misogynistic, because there's that scene where like so for the people who haven't watched this, and by God, I don't know why you wouldn't have watched this film, it's the best thing to come out of this year.
What's wrong with you?
Come on. So there's that scene where obviously they have sex in the gym and he doesn't wear a condom, and she goes to go get plan B, and then she's like, right, I will also get on the pill, and he's like, oh, it will be nice to not have to wear a condom anymore, and you will be on that's my
Why does he sound like an orphan in Oliver Twist?
Because he does in this movie. Don't you think he sounds way more like an orphan than in the other two? Like, his accent just sounded so unbelievably put on this time. They were just like his one note after the second film was be more British. Because like I just felt like he was just so unbelievably British in this one, and it was very upsetting. But yeah, so it was very misogynistic that he was like, oh, it would be nice to not have to wear a condom again, and I was like, you dick, like
you should still though.
Yeah, like come on, asshole, like that's her choice. She's doing a super nice thing that's for you, that's gonna fuck with her brain. Like, don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
It's not about you. Surprisingly, Harden, it's not about you.
Harry Styles.
So yeah, like what were your sort of takeaways from this movie? Because when we were texting each other while watching this movie, you said it gets better halfway through, and I'm dying to know why.
Well, I at least like that like they reach some sort of resolution, right? Like they're both, I don't know, when Tessa goes off to Seattle and stuff, like they both sort of reach this weird understanding that like, okay, we're gonna try and make this work, and maybe being dicks to each other all the time is not like the most productive way to do that. And then through the rest of the movie, the drama comes from like other people, right? But they're actually a pretty like happy, united front, which is very nice to see. Like, I mean, we said it before when we covered the first 2 movies. These two have fantastic chemistry. You know, the sex scenes, if you like that sort of thing, pretty steamy.
Very steamy, yeah. Absolutely.
So you're rooting for these kids. You're just like, stop being such dicks for 2 seconds.
Absolutely.
Like if my boyfriend took my estranged homeless alcoholic father out drinking, and then I had to pick them up for getting in a bar fight, it would be over. Like it would be done.
Yeah, 100%. To be fair, Simone, I feel like there are a lot more things that have happened in these 3 movies
in this build
that would have been like, yeah, it's done.
Harden and I would not have made it.
No, definitely not. Not even a little bit. But he is just the worst. Like, even in that fight, after they have the fight, like, and then Tess takes them home and Harden's explaining it, and like he's like, I was just defending your honor, and she's like, oh, what did they say? And they were like, what do they wanted to do to you? And then he goes, I told them I had already done that, and he was obviously like, he was as a joke, and I was like, but Tess is like,
oh.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the fuck? No. Whoever wrote him this time is just the devil. The absolute devil.
Listen. And again, I feel like we have said this before too. Who among us hasn't been incredibly stupid and horny at the ages 19 and 20?
That's very true. That is very, very true.
Who among us has been a balanced, healthy, rational human at that age?
That's very true. But to be fair, Simone, you would think after 3 years of being in a relationship, you would learn. And they grew a bit in this one. I will give you that.
Is it 3 years now?
Well, that's what I would assume is the storyline. Am I wrong? Is this over like a year, 2 years?
It's like, okay, she does like her internship over Christmas and then gets offered this fucking job.
Oh yeah, so it's not even a year.
So like
really.
they haven't even been together like a full year.
Yeah, and they moved into each other in together. They were gonna move to
into
London
an apartment
together.
that does not belong to them.
Oh, all of this just feels all sorts of wrong.
It's a little rushed.
Yeah, yikes. Okay, scary times. Scary times. But yes, I agree with you. I think it was really nice how they changed it around, and like they were really good from like the middle, and then drama came from everywhere else, and it actually felt very peaceful for a change.
Yes.
How did you feel about the ending?
What with Hardin's mom? I thought it was a little bit forced. Like it's very strange to me that like Hardin's mom wouldn't have disclosed this sooner, since there's like clearly no love lost between her and Hardin's dad, and it's not like Hardin is especially close with his dad either.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, it was definitely a bit of a retcon, I think.
Definitely. It felt very weird, and like the fact that it happened in, you know, the last maybe 10-15 minutes of this film felt a little forced. Like, you know, have little plances throughout the movie, that would have been nice. But they do this, I mean, they did it with the second one as well, when they revealed Tessa's dad was homeless and stuff. You know, it was like not a thing throughout the whole movie, and then right at the end it was like, I'm your dad. I was like, all right, cool, that's fine. And
he's like, yeah, come into my apartment.
Yeah, and then Hardin gives him like a really expensive watch to pay off his bills.
I don't understand any. I don't.
No.
Again, whenever you read this and then you're like, oh, but this is a fan fiction, it makes sense, right? Because the author has to make sure that every chapter is very dramatic and interesting and cliffhangery for the next chapter. So it's just constant nonstop drama. And it makes sense. Like that is what the medium is. And I still admire whoever is trying to adapt it into film, because it can't be an easy job.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But that being said, God damn it, do I enjoy watching these films.
Me too. Me too. I'm just like, oh, it's just pure junk food for your brain. It is the Happy Meal of movies.
It really, really is. You know it's not good for you, but when you're in a quick fix, it's just what you need in your soul.
It's like a hangover breakfast for the soul, but not in a healthy way, like a guilty hangover breakfast. Like it's actually the burger and chips you bought last night but couldn't finish because you were too drunk and nauseous, and now they're cold the next morning, and that's what you're eating, but it's all your body wants.
It's that moment when you look in the mirror and you go, who are you? What happened?
As you sip lukewarm Coke from a straw.
When the Coke is warmer than the chips, then you have a problem.
And you try to reheat it, but it's not the same.
It's never the same. So what is your golden nugget for this one?
My golden nugget remains that these two, the main actors, have really incredible chemistry. I think they work hard to make these movies work.
Oh, they
because
really
no one
do.
Else is. Like other actors, other roles are just swapping out back and forth, and they're like, we are in this. Good for those crazy kids. They're really pulling it out of a hat.
They deserve Oscars. They really do. They like, this is true acting. To put as much effort into these movies as they do. God damn it. Well done. Round of applause. Standing ovation for these two. Yeah.
What about you?
I think for me, it's all about the scenery. It's all about the colors. It's all about the music. Like, this is a very cool movie. Like, it was shot really well. The music was great. Like, there wasn't a single bit of the soundtrack that I didn't love.
I actually kind of want to listen to the soundtrack now.
Right? It is a good soundtrack.
It was pretty sexy too.
Yeah, very sexy. Very, very sexy soundtrack. And yeah, like, you know, the color scheme was great. I think everyone looked fantastic all the time.
Oh,
Everyone's
the
suits
outfits
and stuff were insane.
So cute.
So good. So yeah, like, I think visually I was just like a happy little kid just sitting there being like, ooh, pretty the whole time. It was great.
Yeah, I get you. Did you know that this movie and then the following one, they were filmed back to back?
Oh yeah? Okay.
In Bulgaria.
Okay.
Because that was a location that was deemed COVID safe. So
that's clever.
Yeah.
That's quite clever. That's very smart. Nice. Well, at least they're being COVID safe. That's another tick in their box to say it. But yeah, truly. I'm so excited for the next one. I am so excited for number 4. I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm so ready for it. It's going to be great.
I have some predictions, but
Yes.
I don't want to, like, Tessa's gonna have a baby, right? Like, they're gonna be sad, and there's gonna be like a lot of drama about how she can't have kids because the boss's wife, well, soon to be ex-wife, because she's divorcing him because of the cheating. She's pregnant
not divorcing
now.
him though. She said at the end she loves him like an idiot.
Well, they're gonna have a baby. Tessa and Hardin are gonna be helping look after the baby, and Hardin's gonna be like, "Oh, you know, it wouldn't be so bad." I can't do his accent.
You were so close. You really tried.
I don't know how I went straight to the crown.
It was great. It was great. It was perfect. You were queen. You were the Queen Elizabeth there as Hardin. It made me so happy.
That's what he sounds like. Doesn't the Queen speak like Hardin does?
Yes, she is also a roadman. Oh, that's so good.
You know, he's gonna be like, "Oh, you know, we could do this." I keep trying, and I'm too much.
Never change. That's perfect in every way.
And Tessa's gonna be like, "No, don't say that," and then they'll have like a big fight, and then she'll get pregnant somehow anyway. Like, it'll be fine.
Or they steal the baby, like Vance's baby. That will be the dramatic twist, and run away together.
Oh no. Oh, I mean, but they're like definitely gonna get married very young.
Oh yeah, without a question. Like, he's definitely gonna pop the question in the next one.
Yeah.
Like, an angry. Oh, that's the one that really annoyed me. The one sex scene that really annoyed me was their angry sex scene. Like, after he finds out. Wait, they don't have sex. He just like cries into her bosom, doesn't he?
It's very cute, actually. It's very intimate and sweet.
Yeah. It was the jacuzzi scene that was the weirdest, because, you know, that's why her cervix is all fucked up, because she had jacuzzi sex. It's just something you don't do.
Bacterial infection alone.
Oh my god, yes. Guys,
chlorinated water, warm chlorinated water just takes away any natural lubrication that you have. And I didn't see him whip out a non-water based lube to make all of this possible, so that was not pleasant.
No,
I was like, I was watching and I was like, they're not. No one actually does this.
No, absolutely not.
Like, maybe you start in the jacuzzi, but you move that party elsewhere.
Exactly. I would have fucking loved it if they had like started in the jacuzzi and been like, and then like they're trying to work out the mechanics, and it's like, and she's like, whoa, nope, absolutely not gonna, nope.
Shut it down.
That would have made me so happy, because they were so practical with the condoms. So like, make it more practical and be like, nope, jacuzzi does not work. And then she goes to the doctor's the next day and she's got a yeast infection. Like, really make it realistic. So would you watch it again? Would you recommend it?
I mean, guys, if you are on the train this far, like, you might as well ride it all the way to the end station. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Choo-choo.
Straight
Let's go.
to hell. Yeah, absolutely. And guys,
check it
honestly,
out.
Yeah, I would recommend it, but like to a very specific group of people who love trash cinema. You know, anyone who watched sort of 50 Shades of Grey, who wasn't sort of a middle-aged woman, anyone who, you know, loved the Twilight series because of its ridiculousness, this is the shit for you.
This is up there.
Yeah, guys. Oh, what was that other one that we watched with the vampires? High school vampires. What was that called?
Oh, Vampire Academy.
Vampire Academy. People who love Vampire Academy. Yeah, this is that kind of swill. Mm-hmm. You gotta drink it in. Definitely.
Let it happen.
Right. Good. Shall we do a really dumb movie that made us very angry?
Yeah, let's do it. I've got a lot of feelings.
Me too. So, Evan Hansen, played by Ben Platt, is a believable high school student who has anxiety and depression and is just like a completely messed up kid. His psychiatrist has told him that he should write letters to himself. So the movie opens with him trying to write a letter to himself, being like, this year's going to be better. You're going to make friends and stuff. His condition is sort of made worse by his mum, Heidi Hansen, played by Julianne Moore, who is kind of pushing him to make friends, but is also sort of never around because she's working she's working as a nurse, and she's a single mom, and, you know, trying to give Ben the
She's
best
just
life.
doing her
Evan,
fucking best,
exactly,
really.
giving Evan the life that he can have. So, you know, everyone pipe down, including Evan, but we'll get into that. So Evan goes to school and nothing's changed. He tries to talk to people and he's still really nervous. The only person that he seems to be able to talk to is his best friend, who is Jared Kalwani, played by Nick Dodani. They are not friends, actually. They're familial friends. He doesn't actually want to be around Evan, like very much everyone in the school, but they do talk. And over the summer holidays, Evan broke his arm. So, you know, Jared asks him about that. Apparently what happened was Evan was on a work internship and he fell from a tree. That's the story he's going with. So he's walking around school. No one wants to talk to him. No one wants to sign his cast. And then we meet Connor. Connor Murphy, played by Colton Ryan. He's kind of the school bully, kind of the school crazy person. Everyone kind of stays away from him or makes fun of him and that kind of thing. And he's just very aggressive. He also picks on Evan quite a lot, except for one moment when they are in the library together. Evan has printed off his letter to himself, and that's when Connor finds it. He reads it. In the letter, Evan has also said something about Connor's sister, who is Zoe Murphy, played by Caitlin Denver, who Evan has a crush on. Connor thinks that his friendship has been taken advantage of and that Evan wanted Connor to find the letter so that he could read that about his sister. He kind of freaks out and thinks that Evan has betrayed him, even though they've only spoken as friends for like 10 seconds because essentially
Connor's not well.
Yeah, Connor's been a bully to Evan apart from this one moment. So the night ends and everyone goes home. The next day, Evan is pulled into the principal's office. That's where he meets Connor's parents, Cynthia Murphy, played by Amy Adams, and Larry Mora, played by Danny Pino. Unfortunately, what's happened is, trigger warning, just in case and no one sort of knew about sort of Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah, we'll put one in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll put one in the show notes as well. But trigger warning for suicide. Connor has killed himself, and apparently on his body they found the letter that Evan had written to himself. Now, Connor's parents think that Connor wrote this letter, and that he and Evan were friends. Evan is completely awkward about this and can't seem to tell Connor's parents that he actually wrote the letter to himself and that him and Connor were never friends. So he just goes along with a lie. And he continues to tell Connor's parents that they were best friends and that they hung out all the time. Sort of Connor's parents sort of buy into this and sort of help him along. So Evan tries to like make up stories about, you know, them hanging out in like a field or whatever. And that's when Connor's parents are like, oh, the apple orchard. And he's like, yeah, the apple orchard. That's where we used to hang out. So, you know, they all believe him. Everyone's sort of like believing Evan, and sort of the whole school kind of comes to his aid and is like, oh, you're a really cool guy. I can't believe you knew him, etc., etc. I can't believe you were friends with him. And Evan just continues the lie. Eventually, he does tell Jared about the lie, but Jared's like, oh, you should tell them. And he's like, nah, I'm not going to tell them. Let's just make up a fake email account and write emails from Connor and I over the summer months. Can you help me? And Jared's like, yeah, fine. That's cool. I'll do that. So they do that, and basically it just explodes from there. The whole school kind of gets involved, and that's where you meet Alana Beck, played by Amandia Steenberg, who is sort of the class president and decides she wants to do something for Connor in his memory. She wants to open up the apple orchard again and call it the Conor McGregor, or whatever it's called, Connor Murphy apple orchard, and sort of, you know, in his memory. Evan agrees to help, and he makes a speech at the school memorial, and it goes viral. Everyone is freaking out. Everyone over the world is like, you're not alone. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling depressed, you're not alone. We're all here for you, etc. Because of this fame, Evan sort of, you know, becomes very, very popular. Him and Zoe get very close together, and they start hanging out and sort of fall in love. Evan's life seems to be going great. He's super happy about this, but he is obviously still living a lie, and that gives him a bit of anxiety. On top of that, he sort of starts blowing off all of his duties towards the Conor Murphy Memorial. So it's all very problematic and everything. This all comes to a head eventually when what's her name? When Alana posts on Instagram the original letter, Dear Evan Hansen, on Instagram. The whole world essentially blows up and is like, oh, this very rich family, because the Murphys are incredibly rich, this very rich family is like asking people for money when they could afford it. It all turns very negative, and that's when Evan reveals to the world that he lied. Essentially, there are very minor consequences. People are kind of mad at him. Zoe breaks up with him, but eventually they get the money to open the apple orchard, and Zoe takes Evan to the apple orchard to discuss it, and then Evan writes a letter to himself at the end of the movie saying next year is going to be better. That's the end.
Right. What is your cliffhanger?
So it has to be this one, and it is the ending scene when Zoe takes Evan to the apple orchard and is like, I just needed to make sure you saw this. And I feel this is like the only pertinent moment in this whole movie, because this movie is so frustrating in the fact that this kid lies about something that is incredibly, incredibly serious. And the only consequences that he faces is that he's back to everyone ignoring him, and that's it. Like, that is literally it.
I think I would say that the worst part of this movie was Evan Hansen.
Definitely he's evil.
The worst.
He's
the worst. I think Ben Platt is a fantastic singer. I think he's tremendously talented. Do I think he should have been CGI'd into playing a 15-year-old? No, it was really fucking creepy and gross.
Very weird.
It was very distracting. Okay, I admit I did watch some reviews. I watched Jenny Nicholson's roast of Dear Evan Hansen, which was very good. But the point that stood out to me the most, that to me seemed that bothered me as well, was so Ben Platt was in the original stage production of Dear Evan Hansen.
Yes.
And again, tremendously talented. I don't want to take that away from him.
No, absolutely not. He was good in this.
He's a fantastic singer. Like, truly, I'm still incredibly impressed by his vocals. But I think because he is used to performing it on stage, where you do make everything a little bit bigger, it looks really fucking weird and creepy in a movie.
Yeah, it really does. Like, the music in this made very little sense, and it was all very samey. It was all the sort of this like
very similar.
And it was like that final little syllable was a bit of a pause and then go.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. You are all awkward teens. I understand where this movie is coming from. But yeah, like, look, I mean, the performances in this are incredible. Like, oh my god, you can't deny that. I mean, Amy Adams in this was just delightful. I love her to no end.
I loved the song that the family sings about, like, the complicated relationship they have with Morning Connor, where it starts with Zoe, the sister, like, her brother was horrible to her. He was not a nice person. He was very cruel. And it's her struggling with, like, how do I mourn this person who, like, it's actually better that he's out of my life. And like, the dad is also struggling with it, and the like, all of them dealing with it in their own ways. I thought that was like really interesting for a song.
Definitely.
And I thought they all handled the performances so well. Like, the acting in this is fantastic.
Yes. Completely agree. It's just a shame that they did get Ben Platt to play it. I'm sure there are so many other teenagers where this would have made sense. Can you imagine poor Zoe, who was played by Caitlin Dever,
she's fantastic,
trying to act against Ben Platt in this, and like all the kissing scenes, and he's 20. What he must be in his 30s now. How old is
she? Yeah, he's 29. I think he's around our age.
He's 29. She is, I'll tell you now. See full bio. December 24th, 96. 96.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So she's 24. Like a couple years younger. She does look very young though. She has a baby face. Like, it makes sense to cast her as a high school student.
Yes, exactly. I think that is the big sticking point. I mean, yes, we are both very annoyed by this premise of this movie because this kid lies about someone who has committed suicide and continues the lie and gets famous because of it and doesn't admit it at any point and like causes unbelievable grief. Yeah, like so much grief for that poor family. Could you imagine being that family? And
I especially feel for Zoe because like she has this complicated relationship with her brother. Like she talks about how he was really violent towards her and he scared her and he was really mean, and she didn't think he gave a shit about her. And then Evan sings this really fucking weird, gross song where he pretends that all of like his weird, crushy thoughts about Zoe actually came from Connor. Which, like, first of all, if anyone was like, "Oh, here's what your brother thought about your smile," I'd be like,
no, grim.
But then she's like led to believe that actually her brother secretly loved her this whole time. And then she has to accept that that wasn't even true.
Yeah. Horrendous.
Yikes.
Horrendous. That's going to send you to therapy for years. It's awful. Yeah. What do you think of this musical like as a plot in itself? Because, you know, not to be leading or anything, but most musicals start off pretty happy or pretty sort of, you know, I can think of maybe like Les Mis and Sweetie
maybe
Todd,
Cabaret.
And Cabaret starts fun. Like it starts the music fun, is fun,
but there's always like the dark undertone. They're like, oh, it is Berlin before the Second World War, and you're like, oh no,
we know what's coming. This is not going to be good for you guys. But yeah, like there are so very few musicals that start off sad and just continue sad throughout. This did start off sad. Like, how did you feel about that as a premise as a musical?
You know, I didn't hate it, to be honest. Like I actually liked a lot of the like individual numbers. I thought like, you know, it's a cool premise. I think I of course I liked the idea, even like the opening number of just like Evan feeling like he's watched, like everybody else has things figured out and he doesn't. Like I think that's very visceral, and like anyone who's been to high school feels that way, right? Like it feels like everybody's read a manual that you haven't read and you're like, what do I do? Like I hate myself. And I thought that was good. I liked a lot of the feelings that the thing explored, and I just it would have been nice if the ending were a little bit happier instead of bittersweet. I did like the bit at the end where Evan managed to track down a video of Connor like playing guitar and singing a song. I thought that was actually a really lovely note. I don't know if it was completely redeeming for
not even
Evan.
A little bit. No.
But it was sweet. Like I teared up a little bit because I was 2 hours in and I was tired.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, you know,
that was good. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go. I was interrupting you. I've spoken a lot.
I think it's difficult to watch a character that doesn't necessarily grow that much.
No, not
like
really.
He realizes that he's not alone and that he should probably work on his mental health. And he starts off suicidal and ends up in a place where he's more hopeful about the future, and he's like, you know, actually trying. But he's still a selfish piece of shit the whole way through. Like he's so selfish about the family. Like he literally just keeps lying to them because he likes hanging out with them and feeling like he's part of a family. He's such a shit to his mom, who's so constantly just doing her best, and he doesn't like see that. Like he's just like, well, you're not home, so it's like,
you obviously don't love me. It's like, fuck off, dude. Are you serious?
For the therapy sessions that you need.
Yeah, where the fuck is your dad? Like, you know, he's the one you should be mad at, not trying to like buy his attention with like, you know, the baseball scene. Like, yes, that was very sad, but like you're still awful to your mom who is there for you. Like she's the parent that matters.
And then the worst part is like Julianne Moore, I guess, gets her comeuppance, but not really at the end, because she's like, you know, she has her very auto-tuned song at the end, where she sings about like how she's never gonna leave Evan and she loves him so much, and his dad left but she's not gonna left, and there's a lot of the use of the word truck in there for some reason, which was very strange. But it was just also like, okay, so he's just admitted that he tried to commit suicide, and the mom's making it all about her and how hard it's been for her, and it's like, this is like, it's true, but it's not really like the moment Julianne Moore. Like while I think this movie hits a lot of very interesting emotional beats and cool emotional beats, every now and again it just wildly misses the mark, and you're like, no, that's not necessarily what was called for in this moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I would still go and see the stage production because I want to see how different it is, and if there are, like you say, different beats that are hit right. You know, I would want to explore that from its original source. You know, like we've said, you know, in the past, the Hamilton DVD that you get on Disney Plus is not as good as the live show.
Some things are just better in person.
Exactly. So I would like to see whether sort of the things that we've said on this podcast are retracted when you watch the stage show. And please, listeners, if you have seen the stage show, please do reach out to us and let us know how it is versus the movie. We'd love to know. But I do think the underlying moral of the movie is that teenagers are shitty.
Bizarre.
Like all of them are shitty people. Like Evan is shitty, Connor is shitty. Fucking the teenager who what's her name?
Alana
is so shitty because Evan's like, please don't release this. This was only for the family.
And she's like, better Kickstarter for an orchard. What?
Yeah.
I also didn't really necessarily subscribe to the premise that if they didn't raise enough money for this orchard, people weren't gonna have hope anymore. Like, okay, Alana.
Yeah, that is a lot to put on yourself there. All right. So golden nugget.
To be honest, I really enjoyed the performance from the guy who played Connor. I thought he did a fantastic job in the scenes that he was in, both showing like, you know, the real Connor before he died. And I enjoyed the song Sincerely Me. Like, if you don't think about it too much, because it's a very dark premise. But the song itself is actually like the only real standout for me that like sounds different to the other songs, I guess, because it's in a major key.
Oh no, so depressing when you think about it.
I'm sure the other songs are in a major key. I don't know. I've never studied music.
No, I think you're right. I think there's like one song in a major key.
Yeah, I would think that You Will Be Found is also in a major key just because it is very uplifting. But who's to say? I don't know anything about music, but this one's definitely a lot more like upbeat and funny, and like, you know, someone tried to have a good time in this, and I thought the actor did really well, like with like the weird choreography and vocals and that as well. So yeah, I think it was a very underrated performance. And yeah, I really wish I wish Ben Platt had not been playing Evan Hansen in this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like him. I like seeing him on screen. I loved him in The Politician and the other things I've seen him in. Great voice. It's past time to play a 15-year-old though. It was creepy. It was creepy and weird.
After seeing him in Pitch Perfect, and I think that's what most people will know him from, is Pitch Perfect as a university student, it was really fucking off-putting to see him as a kid again, as a teenager. It was very weird.
Oh, and they CGI'd him so young. He looks plastic. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's really grim. It's very, very grim.
He just doesn't have a young person face. That's fine. I also don't have a young person face. I got into bars when I was a teenager. It's fine.
Exactly.
You play to your strengths.
Exactly. That's exactly it. It's you do what you can with what you've got. That's all you need to know. And I mean, it's not like Ben Platt is struggling. Let's be fair. It's not like he's in Hollywood being like, oh, I've got no roles. Calm down.
Exactly. His dad's the director of the movie. That's why he got the role.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. And then when he faced criticism for it, he was like, guys, the movie would not have been made without me. And it's like, okay, but you could have put some pressure on your dad and just cast someone else, though, you know? Like,
yeah, for real. Ooh.
Yikes.
That's not fun. Yikes. Yeah. For me, it was, I think, definitely the female cast in this. I think, you know, Julianne Moore, exceptional. Amy Adams, absolutely exceptional.
Oh, so good.
I think, you know, what's her name? Deva. Who played Zoe, she's gonna be a breakout star.
I love her in everything she does. She is just such a phenomenal actress.
Exactly. So I think they really made the movie and they carried it through really, really nicely. Yeah, nothing but the best for all three of them. Excellent work.
Yeah, agreed.
And I mean, I know the answer. I think our audience knows the answer, but would you recommend this?
No, it's a stone cold bummer.
Yeah.
Like you could probably just listen. It's so much longer than it needs to be. You can literally just listen to the soundtrack and like get an idea of where you're
Exactly.
at.
Yeah.
It's long. It's a lot. I can't speak for the stage version. I'm interested in the stage version, but I don't know if I would spend my own hard-earned cash on it if there were other options. Yeah, no, it's would not recommend for me.
No, I've got to agree with you. I think that hell is made up of this movie, the Ginger Dead Men series, and Zack Snyder's 4-hour Batman. Sorry, Justice League. Is it Justice League? Yeah,
yes, it's Justice League.
His 4-hour Justice League on loop, just for eternity. Just those 4 movies. Just yeah.
Good Lord.
I think that's what it is. And so definitely not. Guys, you have 2 hours and 17 minutes to fill with literally anything else. Just don't fill it with this movie. Not worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Simone. What a year it's been. We've done so many amazing things. We've come so far in this last year. I'm so proud of us. I'm so proud of it. What is your one thing that you're happiest about from this last year?
Probably that I got a couple of short stories published. One in
that is amazing.
Especially good anthology, like besides authors that I've read. So if you haven't yet, pick up copies of What One Wouldn't Do. It's on Amazon. It's really fucking good, guys.
Yeah, do it. I bought it, and I'm taking them with me to South Africa if I'm able to go next year to get signed by one of the authors. I'm so very excited.
Stop it.
I'm bringing them. Like I'm gonna get you to sign
it. I mean, I'll sign it.
Yeah. I think for me, it's getting my dream job. I've always wanted to be, involved with the Crown Prosecution Service. Like I've always wanted to go into criminal law. So I'm just really happy that's happened, that I got that.
Love this.
Yeah. This has been a good year, and long may it continue into 2022.
Touch wood.
Oh man. Yeah. So Simone, I was thinking first episode of the new year next week. Completely new start, completely fresh. I got 2 ideas. So the first one is like a dead easy one. It's your favorite movie. We're just gonna fucking throw out the rule book and just go our favorite movie of all time. You can do that one, and then we can just talk about our favorite movies, gush it out, and then we reset for the year to come.
Love this.
The other option that I had was movies we love and the hills that we will die upon. So for me,
so like our favorite controversial movies.
Yes. So like for me, for example, I love Garden State. It is inherently a bad movie.
Okay.
It is trash, and Zach Braff is a trash human being. But I love this movie, undeniably. It is fantastic.
Interesting.
So I don't know which one would you prefer for the first episode of the year?
I was going to suggest something similar, which is like our all-time favorite, like our happy movies, like one that never fails to just put a big old smile on your face and like transport you to a better time. Okay. So I was thinking around those lines. So I guess that's kind of under our favorite movies. I mean, does anyone have like one single favorite movie? I think not. Definitely
not. It's too hard to choose one favorite movie. Absolutely.
But definitely our happiest movies, I think.
Yeah, so I definitely think happiest movie is a good way to go. Yeah, let's do happiest movie. So what awesome. Do you know what your happiest movie is?
I do. I've been wanting us to cover this on the podcast for a long time, but it's done too well.
Okay, what are we doing?
Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. That's the one with Brandy in it.
Yes, you've been wanting to do this for ages.
It's truly, I had it on VCR as a kid, and I still know all the songs off by heart. It's just a lovely, wonderful movie.
I think that's a great idea. I love that. That's fantastic.
Okay, what about you? Do you have anything queued up?
Yeah. I mean, okay. Let me just think about this, because I don't want to make it a Stone Cold Bummer, and you know me, I love Stone Cold Bummers.
God, we're not doing South Pole. I know you.
I had completely decided not to do that one purely on the basis that I knew how much of a Stone Cold Bummer that is. So that wasn't even like in my wheelhouse, because I know We can't do that. We cannot do that.
And we're all mad at Jake right now. So
oh yeah, of course. Taylor ruined Jake for us with 10 minutes of propaganda. Right, okay. So then, because I'm not gonna make you watch Lord of the Rings. I'm not gonna do that.
Oh God, yeah, that's a bit long.
Yeah, could you imagine a synopsis?
So 1,000 years ago on Middle Earth. Let's start
at the beginning. Part 1.
Start with the Silmarillion, actually. Like,
oh my God. Yeah, just really go into the lore. Like, got my little book there. Let's do. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Let's do The Emperor's New Groove. Fuck it.
Yeah.
It's a movie that always makes me really happy. It always makes me really happy. It's so funny.
Excellent.
It's fantastic. So we'll do Emperor's New Groove, and we'll do
Rodgers and Hammerstein's
Cinderella. That's a very exciting week. What a way to start 2022.
I'm thrilled. And this is also like, we're doing this on our like vacation, our respective vacations. So this is like ideal vacation watching.
It's perfect. It's the one week where our significant others are going to be like, this is why we're in a relationship.
Maybe. Rudy doesn't. Okay, so Rudy pretends not to like musicals.
Okay.
But he does that like dad boyfriend thing where he'll like he'll walk into the room and like kind of watch standing with his arms crossed. And then he's like, what's happening now? And I'm like, oh, this. And then like he'll just slowly work his way onto the couch. And I'm like, oh, do you want to watch with me? He's like, no. I'm just here. And then he watches with me.
That's adorable. He
does it whenever I watch trash TV shows as well. Like,
that's fantastic. I love that for you both. That is fantastic. Oh, brilliant. So well,
I'm hoping for that. I think he will watch
Emperor's
New Groove with me, though. That's a classic.
How could you not? It's one of the best films I've ever made. It's pure gold. It's pure gold.
It's Eartha Kitt. I mean,
how could you not love her? She's so funny in this. It's everyone you love. Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for this wonderful year. We cannot have done this without you. We really, really do appreciate all your support. You guys have been so wonderful, giving us recommendations, telling us where we're wrong, telling us where we're right, agreeing with us, whether you like to or not. And, you know, sitting down and watching terrible movies with us. I must say, I want to give a big shout out for Georgette for coming in, rocking it with the new relationship and deciding to, you know, watch some of these bad movies with me. Bless her soul. Thank you very much. I don't know if you want to do the same for. No, definitely not, which is surprising. So I just want to thank her for that. Nice. Do you want to thank Rudy for doing reasonably the same? Because I know he doesn't watch a lot of them. Yeah, and letting me
steal his study every single day or every Sunday.
Yeah, we cannot thank you guys enough. We really, really do appreciate it. So I guess one final gratitude for the end of the year.
Oh, it's a big one. I am very grateful for good friends. I think there were a lot of ups and downs this year for me. And I think I definitely saw like the really amazing people in my life. And I'm just super grateful for like the amazing support and just like the fantastic, wonderful people that I have around me. I think I'm super lucky, especially including you, Chad. Obviously, you make that list. You have just been an absolute star. But all of our like pre-recording chats where I'm like, listen, not coping.
Oh, that's really sweet of you. Well, yeah, thank you for being such a great friend. I mean, you're always there to chat to, and it's been fantastic. I mean, we've done this for 3 years now, and I couldn't imagine a better person to do this with. I'm so happy that day that you came to us with this idea. Couldn't have asked for a better friend. So, you know, this has been a rockin' relationship, I would say, and
it really has. Look at us.
It's been good fun. Yeah, it's been awesome, and I'm really grateful to sort of everything that's happened this year. I mean, things are dark out there, but honestly, could be far worse. You know, I know there's a lot of people who complain. It's like, oh, we're definitely on the darkest timeline. Guys, you do realize like 60 years ago, there was a world war. Like
Yes.
literally everyone was fighting with everyone. So, you know, things are bad. Sure. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. But overall, you know, things could be worse. And
there's going to be egg on your face if by the time we release this, the world has just descended.
Just into another world war. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
I done.
I'll cut it out if that's the case, Chad. I'll cut it right out.
But yes, I'm really thankful for everything that happened. I mean, the fact that, you know, we got the vaccine and, you know, my girlfriend is essentially, you know, in a much better place because of the vaccine. We all are. You know, that people have come together for this type of thing. It's really good. And I'm just really thankful that we're in the lightest, darkest timeline. It's sort of like a gray color.
A gray timeline.
Yeah, the gray timeline. Yes, and thank you again to you all. And as we say at the tell us socials. Do the social thing.
You can tell us your gratitudes at Fresh Tomatoes podcast on Facebook and Instagram, Fresh Tomatoes MP on Twitter, and email us long paragraphs about your gratitude at freshtomatoespodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, if you've kept a journal for every day this year, send it to us.
Oh, yeah.
We will read every single page. We promise.
We'll leave notes.
And as we say at the end of every episode, we love you and there's nothing you can do about it.
We love you and there is nothing you can do about it. Bye.